Hi, my name's Annie, and I am a permanent resident of sports anime hell. Why, you ask? Well, keep watching and you'll find out. In this video, I'm going to be telling you why I love sports anime, what makes it great, and how it changed my life. I should probably start out by saying that while I have the hand-eye coordination of a fish, I have always been really into sports. Because I am very uncoordinated, I've never been very good at them, but I really like the kind of feelings of like competition and being on a team and, you know, the camaraderie, working towards a goal, training, getting better, and accomplishing, you know, what you set out to do with people who are your friends. My love for anime started with Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, Full Metal Alchemist, things that were very much outside of the world I live in. They were fantasy, science fiction, things that I could dream about but never had to worry about. So I never gave a lot of thought to watching slice of life series that were based on high school or just regular friendship or sports. Now, it's not that I didn't think they existed, but I guess I kind of figured if I was going to watch sports, I should watch real ones with real teams and real people. And while that argument kind of makes sense, it's one of the biggest gripes I have with the genre, but also in the anime community as a whole. My view on the genre changed in September, October 2015. As many of you know, my mother was really, really sick. She had stage 4 gastric cancer, and her health continued to worsen. I was in my last year at university. I had some falling out with some good friends of mine, and I lacked any sort of social or academic stimulation that I really needed. In short, I was lonely. Profoundly lonely. And in that loneliness, I decided to try out a Crunchyroll account and watch some anime, because that's what I do. One of the first animes I decided to give a try was Haikyuu. I'm not actually sure why I clicked on it, okay, because I've never seen a volleyball match, and I'm not really that interested in volleyball in general, but I decided to give it a try because it had good reviews and it looked kind of nice. What I discovered was a lot more rewarding and surprisingly amazing. Its simplicity was exactly what I needed at the time. I didn't have to worry about the complex world building, and I didn't have the emotional or mental, not stability, but endurance to follow through with something like that. And if I'm honest with myself, I think I wanted something where I knew the characters wouldn't die. I wanted an escapism from the very real possibility and ultimately the reality that my mother would lose her battle with cancer. Haikyuu was refreshing. It was inspiring. The characters were round, they were deep, they were capable of producing empathy. The plot was easy to follow and not bogged down by the standard world building or kind of magic usage that I was accustomed to.
My name is Linkus, and I'm excited for Haikyuu Season 4.
Without realizing it, I became invested into these characters, their victories and their losses, but also their just general growth and their struggles as human beings. I fell in love with their eccentric nature, and when you juxtapose that against the horror animation and just brilliant graphics and sound design of the show, I was hooked. I instantly reached for the following 2 seasons of IQ, and other shows such as Free, Kuroko's Basketball, and eventually Yuri on Ice when it came out. Can you pick up on his, purring? So, I love these kinds of shows. I love the genre. Why hadn't I given it a shot earlier? Well, that brings us to part 2 of this conversation. Link, leave the microphone alone. Y'all, I'm sorry if you don't like his purring, but if I let him go, he will probably knock over the camera, so endure it! To understand my point, let's start with the story time with anime. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple years ago about why he liked comedy anime. I thought this was really interesting because he was a person who daily engaged on thought-provoking, philosophical, political, ideological conversations all the time. I was surprised because I thought he would have been more interested in something like FMA, where it grappled with deep, deep questions and, thought-provoking arguments. Instead, he preferred things like Ouran High School Host Club and Devil is a Part-Timer. And I love those shows too. But when I asked him why, he said the following: if you're going to talk about a serious topic, you should choose a different medium. Anime can't be taken seriously. It's just a cartoon. Yes, my dear ANNIEME-NIACs, my fellow weebs, I too was deeply offended. To me, that's like saying you can't write a funny poem because it's a poem. And don't you know all poems have to be written in iambic pentameter? And actually, no, only Shakespeare can write poems, and he can only write poems comparing people to summer's days. Isn't that right, Link? None of this spoken word nonsense. No. No! No! It's ridiculous, right? It's judgmental and uninformed, it's misdirected, and it's incredibly stereotypical. But it's largely how humans operate. We like boxing things into our neat little packages. We don't like it when things mix genre or blur boundaries. We like things that are simple in the fact we like being able to categorize them, putting them in the right place, where they belong, and they don't have to move after that. But the wonderful thing about being human is that we can feel a number of emotions for any given situation. We can feel both intense grief and affection when we lose a loved one and we remember them. We're allowed to like multiple things. No, you're not allowed to play with plastic bags. We're allowed to like multiple things, and we are capable of empathizing with other people whose opinions and experiences differ from our own. And we have the capacity to change our opinions when new information becomes available. When we give ourselves the opportunity to invite someone in and change our perspective. To say sports anime can't be captivating, to say that their characters must be shallow and flat, that their thematic explorations are subpar to those fantasy and sci-fi genres, is the equivalent of saying anime in general cannot and should not be emotionally resonant, astute, and deeply profound. At the bare minimum, this statement is a generalized speculation that's completely baseless rather than rooted in personal experience in viewing sports anime. The genre has a lot to offer. It has some of the most beautiful animation I have seen, maybe because they don't have to worry about magic circles or riding on dragons. Instead, they focus their efforts on how do muscles move? How do I make the same shot look so damn good over and over and over again? They explore cinematic ways of switching from the shot itself to the audience's reaction to maybe just the player's reaction. Somehow they managed to keep it refreshing. You know, when I start a sports anime, I always ask myself, am I going to be able to get through X amount of episodes about X sport? And the answer is almost always a resounding yeah. So, we give it a try. If it's not our thing, cool. We've learned something about ourselves that we didn't know before. What I want is for people, and for myself as well, I constantly have to tell myself this, is not to dismiss something as dead before it's had the chance to breathe. In short, you don't know if you're gonna like something until you give it a try. You might have a 95%, you are sure you are not gonna like that. But you won't know until you do it. Explore these series with an open mind, and you might just find that these characters open your heart and make a home of it, giving you a home and a team to be a part of for as long as you choose to stay. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you liked and enjoyed it. If so, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please, 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 please follow me at annieme.com. That's my blog and website that has my latest reviews and whatnot. Or follow me on my social links down below. I'm pretty much everywhere at ANNIEME-NIAC. As always, watch on ANNIEME-NIACs, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye! Oh, we did okay, I hope. I don't know if I really actually answered what I was talking about, though. Like, sports animes, animation is some of the best out there. It also has incredible characterization. Yeah, sometimes the plot can be a bit predictable, right? But it also, I don't know, it has insane capacity as a genre, as we've seen with, like, Yuri on Ice. One of the most profoundly moving explorations on not just, like homosexual relationships in anime, which, you know, I feel is a very important conversation, but I think a lot of other really good aspects of anime get overlooked because of that, which, you know, it makes sense. It was extremely popular for a variety of reasons, and that's one of them, but we rarely talk about, like, the portrayal of their relationship in general, and, like, how do we support the ones we love when we're going through something, when they have anxiety attacks, and when they are depressed. I think it makes one of the most poignant arguments that I've ever seen, really.